Hi everybody, I'm Carissa.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Benjamin.
And we thought it'd be fun to do a vlog. We've got a lot of questions about our gardening and our beekeeping. And so we thought, you know what, let's do some videos, and that way everybody can see what we're doing and you guys can come along on our journey as we try to be more self-sufficient this next year. All right, you guys, see you in a minute.
Hi everybody. This is our homestead binder. In this video we're going to be talking about how this has become such a vital, if not the most important aspect of homesteading or gardening or anything with building your self-sufficiency. So when we started on our journey, we started with our garden, and the first year we just were so excited that we had our own garden that we just kind of threw seeds down. We harvested that year, but then the next year we realized that we didn't really remember what we did the year before, or we hadn't really thought about some of the things that we could have done better. And so that's kind of what started us on this idea of having some resource that we could go back to, that we could put entries in, keep records in, that kind of thing. And so as we've done that, and as we've continued building on top of our garden with bees and animals, this definitely has been a huge, tremendous part of our success in all of those, in doing those things. I can't really say there's any really right way to do it, but we're going to just give you some ideas on how and what's worked well for us.
So when we talk about the binder, each tab represents an aspect of what we're trying to do here on our homestead. So there's a tab for beekeeping, there's a tab for gardening, and we've got several tabs here, and each tab represents just a small part of what we're trying to do for our family. And within each of those tabs, each tab is split into sections, and I can kind of generalize each tab has 4 sections. The first section is resources. It's we have an emergency, we need an answer right now. Then we flip open to that tab, and the first thing we have is a list of resources that can help us answer emergency questions. So the resource section in our beekeeping tab is our handbook for our master beekeeping program. That way, when I have a question on whether or not the queen cells I see on the comb are supersedure or swarm cells, well then I can go right to that section and look it up and say, oh, you know what, I don't have to worry about it. It's just a swarm cell, and I just have to remove those. The second section is goals. Now, I can't ever remember my goals if I don't have it written down somewhere. So for us, at the beginning of the year, we sit down and we say, okay, what are our goals this year? And we talk about each section or each tab individually, and we create a set of goals. And that is put into our binder. That way, every time we open up the binder, it's right there. It reminds us what we're working towards that year. So we have goals for 2017. Some of the goals that we had was we wanted to establish a new hive. We wanted to harvest at least a ½ gallon of honey from this new hive, and we wanted to overwinter successfully. At the end of 2017, we reviewed our goals. So we did indeed buy a new honeybee package to establish a new hive. We harvested 2 gallons of honey, and so far we've been able to successfully overwinter this new hive. The next section is spreadsheets. This is the big picture of any given aspect on our homesteading journey. Our spreadsheets for our beekeeping look something like this. So every time we go out and we check on our hive, we take this checklist out and we quickly fill it out. So I know on April the 25th, yes, we did indeed see the queen. There were no swarm or supersedure cells because it was a new hive. There still wasn't any brood or eggs or larvae because the queen was brand new, but we did see pollen and water and nectar. And then any additional notes, we refilled the bee feeder, and I have the sugar syrup solution that we used, as well as we put some medicine into the sugar solution to make sure that our bees weren't getting sick. The last section is any additional notes that we have. It's our journaling, and we keep that at the end of whatever particular tab. That way we can write specific notes about day-to-day activities that we're doing. At the end of each tab is the area that we call additional notes. This is our journaling area. So each time we go out into the apiary or into the garden, or we work with our animals, we write down a small journal entry for that day of the things that we saw. So on May 27th of this last year, we did a full inspection of our honey bees, and it seems that the comb was coming in really well. There was lots of eggs and larvae with some capped brood, but it seemed that we saw one worker bee with what appeared to be K-wing. We were thinking we might need to check into treating for varroa mites, and we refilled the feeder and cleaned the water bowl out.
So we're glad you joined us, and we hope you found this video useful in getting organized in the projects that you'll be doing this year. Thanks for watching.
Next week's video, we're going to be talking about how to plant a garden, so I hope you guys join us for next week's video.